It's sponsored by Sinclair Heating and Cooling for 24/7 comfort on call.
Hello, Brad. How
Hey,
are you today?
Chris, I'm great. Hey, listen, last week, was that Thursday that you had that interview on the Great
I
Lakes?
believe so, yes.
Listen, you've got to go to WBAY.com and find that interview. It's about the climate change.
Right,
and
climate change effects on the Great Lakes.
And especially the warming.
Right.
With depth of the waters.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a great interview. You did a great job there.
Checks in the mail, Brad.
In a related theme, some information on ocean temperatures from our friends at Climate Central. Now, remember last year? Yeah, I do remember last year. Just kidding.
Which part of last year?
Well, it was the hottest year on record for
Yeah.
the atmosphere globally and also for the ocean. This are ocean temperatures by month, okay? This bright blue line is last year. This is the mean from 1991 through 2020, and this bright white line is this year. So
Okay.
it's hot, but not as hot. So
Okay.
perhaps a little good news there. They also provide this, and I love this depiction. On the left, 1850, 2024 on the right. Obviously, the deeper blue, the colder the temperature, the deeper red, the higher the temperature, but you can also see reflected here the warming.
I have questions about that one.
It's right on.
I mean, but it was just such an outlier.
Yeah. Well, you know, you do get some variability
yeah.
in climate, but you can clearly see that things are getting warmer there. Okay, keeping in a similar ocean theme, if you will, okay?
Ooh.
Ancient life in the early ocean, trilobites. This is what their fossilized remains look like. You might actually recommend, it's a very common fossil. And part of
Okay.
the reason why they're so common is their bodies were easily fossilized. That's issue number one. And issue number two, they were very abundant for millions of years, so there were a lot of them.
Okay.
But here are some other facts about trilobites. It's one of the planet's earliest and most successful animals. Existed in our Earth's oceans for 270 million years. They've identified more than 22,000 species so far and still exploring. These creatures can be anywhere from just under an inch to as long as 28 inches. Can you
Okay.
imagine that swimming towards you? And they swam and moved over the seabed, and they had a hard exoskeleton. And that, Chris, is why their fossilized remains are so numerous, because that hard shell, left a good impression, literally, okay? But not much has been known about the soft tissue of these creatures, okay? And that is what today's story is all about,
All
and
right.
it comes from Harvard. Ancient trilobite limbs reveal unique walking and burrowing abilities in prehistoric seas. So get a load of this. They found some exceptionally well-preserved fossilized specimens, okay? They analyzed 156 limbs from 28 different fossils, okay? And then they used 3D modeling to reconstruct the precise movements and perhaps function of these ancient appendages,
Okay.
So let's take a look at one of the pictures here of the fossilized remains, and you can see the little legs. Note also those little hairy structures on the legs. We'll talk about that as well.
I'm just thinking soft shell crab right now. Sorry, I don't know why.
It's similar.
Okay.
In fact, they used some crabs as models to see how some of these
all right.
appendages may have
Aha.
moved. So then they provide some diagrams about how these appendages could be configured and how the creature might have used them. They say in their words, quote, displays a simple but highly functional limb design. They could walk on the ocean floor, they could burrow, they could bring food towards their mouth, and even raise their bodies above the sea floor. But Chris, you know I always love when there's a new unexpected finding. And there is here too.
Okay.
Remember those little hairy structures on the
Yeah, you
legs?
just pointed out.
Each leg had gills for breathing.
Ooh.
Isn't that an interesting adaptation?
Would not have thought to put them there. But I didn't design them. All right, Brad, thanks so
bet.
much. We appreciate that. Still to come here at 4:30. It's not often that